It's March the 1st, 2014. This is 508, a show about Worcester, and today it's a show about the HX Library and the moving of the HX Library into Stone Soup.
And but we have to move the shelves in before the books, so we should do that. There's also that giant linoleum thing in there.
Oh yeah.
That apparently no one can move.
Why not?
Like six people have tried.
It's like weighs a ton, like literally a ton.
So I think we should go do that as a super team.
No, like seriously, I feel really uncomfortable with anyone moving that. Someone is gonna throw it in their back.
Okay.
Seriously, no one can move that.
How did it get in there? A dolly?
With like a dolly that's like a professional dolly. We need to get a dolly. Like the dolly we had, it was breaking the dolly.
Does it come apart?
No, it's just a giant thing of like flooring.
Is it in the middle of the room or something?
No, it's in the corner. So I think we should just work around it for now.
Jen, how's it going?
I'm kind of sick, but we're moving the library.
Jen Burt, president of Stone Soup. Madam President, I heard things are happening in Stone Soup.
Oh yeah.
For real.
For real.
Occupancy permit.
Yep.
Paperwork from the city.
We got it all.
What's the I don't know what you want to call it. Like what's coming up in the next couple weeks for people who want to check out Stone Soup?
Oh, okay. I don't. Oh.
I feel like you kind of
You are sick.
I am sick. I told you. We have a general meeting next, Tuesday the 11th, whatever the second Tuesday is. Maybe it's the 11th at 6 o'clock. That's like a good time to come and get plugged in.
Okay.
And I don't know. There's other stuff. There's been things every day since we officially opened. So if you come by, there might be something open.
So people should maybe connect with the groups that are members of Stone Soup.
Yeah.
We're talking about groups like Epica.
Yeah. Worcester Roots, Earn a Bike.
ACLU.
Yep.
And the HX Library. Here it is. Shelf going out the door. Another shelf going out the door.
I'm gonna take Ben's like rickety crate. Go ahead and hello. Oh, I know we had these 20s.
Yeah, just take the corner stuff.
Can I scoot by here, Holly? Go ahead. Shane, while you're moving, can I ask you what this library is?
No. That's Chris.
What is it?
Can I ask you what this library is?
Sure. The HX Library is a community library housing lots of radical books. HX is a section of the library catalog that they sort radical and like anarchist and like, other ideas into.
Okay. Sort of going backwards in time, this library has been in semi-public spaces for the last couple of years.
Yep. It went from the Firecracker, which was downtown. It was a really radical space, to Stone Soup, I believe. And then,
Did it go to the Spaceman at some point in there?
oh, yeah. I went to the Spaceman. And then eventually after the fire, it got sorted between...
Wait a second. So it, maybe we can just go backwards. So right now it's here.
Yep.
Before it was here, it was in the Collective of Go-Go's barn in a
Yep.
bunch of boxes. Before that,
Much of it stored at the
Storage facility.
Main South CDC for a while.
Yeah, and a big storage factory.
so some of it was at the Go-Go, some of it was at the main South CDC with all the other Stone Soup
Yeah,
junk.
a lot of it.
Before that, it was in Stone Soup.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember so vividly, man, like the day after the fire, people looking at these boxes of semi-soggy, extremely smoke-damaged books. Do we have anything with obvious smoke damage here? I know a ton of these books have obvious smoke damage.
There's some mold damaged ones.
Oh, like here's an example. I mean, like you see, like this is where like some other
yeah.
book was like right here during the
Totally.
fire, and then it just does
Feel
that
it still.
aerobic dancing by Jackie Sorensen.
It's a good one. We're gonna keep it.
Before it was at Stone Soup,
Mm-hmm.
it was, where do we think it was?
The Spaceman?
The Spaceman.
Yeah,
And maybe at the some of it might have been at the Go-Go.
probably.
Before it was at the Spaceman, it was at,
The Firecracker.
which was downtown.
Mhm.
What did you ever go to the Firecracker?
No, I was really young. But I'm happy to see the HX library back up and running because I've watched it move so many times. And I think I've helped move it a few. So,
They're not fixing to drive away yet, are they?
I don't think so.
Okay. What has this library been? I mean, what has the reality of this library being in this space been?
in this space, it has been utilized as much as we'd like.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think moving it back to Stone Soup will be a big step.
Mm-hmm.
Having people who can access it on a daily basis and have a space where they can just come and read or come and do whatever, I think will be really great.
It has been interesting the last couple of years that people do like show up out of nowhere saying
Yeah.
like, I hear you have this library. There's also a strong science fiction element as well as radical politics.
Yeah, we have a strong science fiction element. Lots of radical feminist science fiction
Mm-hmm.
is a big thing we have in the library. Yep.
And it's just been cool to see like random people coming out of nowhere as well as like events happening.
Yeah, we've had a lot of events in this library, and even when we have like big music shows, it's not uncommon to see someone sitting in a corner reading a book, which is really nice. We also have people who randomly show up and just end up reading comic books in our house. It's always a surprise. It's great. But I'm happy to see it go too.
Are we taking more stuff, putting more stuff in the truck?
Yeah, well, we're just putting it on the street for now. I'm not sure what will fit in the truck and what won't.
We
Okay.
do put tons of stuff in my car.
Okay. There's still like a bajillion books, so
Okay.
no worries on stuff still to do. You wanna grab the other end? Whoa, there's the dead dog tape under there.
Oh yes, that's my favorite tape.
What tape is this?
Dead Dog, featuring one of my favorite songs, Pizza Taco.
That sounds awesome.
Including the blurt verses, I like pizza, you like tacos. Pizza Taco, Pizza Taco.
I'm really impressed that there's no dead mice under there.
That's what the traps are for.
Do you have a good sense of the early firecracker history?
Oh, I could try. So some folks that lived at the Go-Go
Mm-hmm.
decided to start this info shop type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I actually found a list of their proposed names at one point, including the Armchair Anarchist, which I think would have been a good name.
Firecracker's not a bad name.
Oh, I think Firecracker's a great name. I think I wanted to keep Firecracker, but other people didn't want to keep it, so which is fine. HX is a good name too.
HX is also a good name because it's nerdy and it's kind of science fiction-y.
Exactly.
That's two good names for
It's-
one organization.
It also makes sense too because I think it's a different it's taking pieces of an old thing, but it's still a new thing. So
It-
it's kind of nice that it
It is
has
sort
a
of
new name.
it is sort of amazing. We were just looking at one of the the smoke damage on one of these books. Like these books have been through a lot of fires,
I
right?
know. Multiple fires. Stone Soup, multiple fires. Ben Franklin fire.
Oh, some of these books are from Ben Franklin.
Oh yes, a bunch of these are from the Ben Franklin after they had their fire. Probably pre and post fire.
Mm,
But yeah, after they had a fire, she went down and grabbed a bunch of the science fiction ones.
So you were saying people wanted to start a thing.
Oh yeah, people wanted to start a thing. So it had a bunch of different locations. I think it was on Franklin Street at one point, and a bunch. It was a bookstore, library, and also like different organizations worked out of it for a while too. So I think in some ways similar to Stone Soup with like. I think there was like a Food Not Bombs was out of there for a while. Homes Not Jails, and then. It was when I was around, when I first got to Worcester, like 2003, it was in the Spacement.
Okay.
They had some of the books that were still there. And then it kind of got moved to Stone Soup. It was not being really, like, their books were there. It wasn't being, like, used as a library. Some folks were, like, starting to catalog it. Then there was a fire. Then the books sat around for a while. And then we saved them from various storage locations and opened them in our house.
And now
now it's just, they've multiplied.
Now they're going back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go outside and see if they're getting ready to drive away.
Okay.
So what does HX mean?
It's from the Library of Congress system.
Probably start like composting all those adbusters.
Yeah, probably. Along with all these like rotten pumpkins.
Wait a second, you're throwing out all the old Adbusters?
They're already rotten, you know. It's like when you have a lot of tomatoes, they're great, but sometimes they're just rotten.
A tomato has its time.
Yeah.
And Adbusters has its time.
comes pre-composted.
Yeah. She has something more biting to say about it. She thinks Adbusters is dumb.
Look, VHS tapes about. It's a Bill Nye the Science Guy in Spanish VHS.
Oh, sick.
This is gonna be real good.
Give it to Spencer to watch on his VHS video.
I don't have a TV anymore though. I'll have to come over here to watch it on your
Yeah.
huge TV.
Good, we can collaborate.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you guys fixing to drive over this?
Yeah.
Can I drive over with you?
Yeah,
Can
definitely.
I ride over
Oh
with you?
man.
Yeah, we only have like we could squeeze in.
Yeah.
I might squeeze in.
This is better than just you guys can go. You know, you only need a couple people there. You gonna go in the truck? Yeah, it's tight.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think Holly and Jen are gonna go over soon, right? It's probably helpful to have a few extra people.
There's also a bunch of chairs from the event there last night.
Okay.
So those should be moved into the Epica office because they're not moving until late March.
Yeah.
We can deal with that in the meantime.
So you
Okay.
can round up Jen and
Um,
head over there with them.
yeah, if you want to do that.
This thing is so gross.
Yep.
Still covered
It's on
in
wheels.
fire soot. Right there. Probably.
Yeah, it was a gift. I feel like such a person having one of these things. It's kind of nice though. I guess, I don't know. It's also really nice not having a lid.
I have trouble getting it off.
Really?
Mine's like seals itself.
Really? I wish mine did, because the problem is that like it still spills. That's the nice thing about
Well, you can still
like,
put another thing under it.
Oh, you can? Oh, that's cool. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Somebody else want to get in the car truck too?
I don't know. If anyone feels like squeezing, does anyone want to go or something?
I know we're gonna be obsessed when we just go over it to the actual book.
We got a third person who wants to get in the truck and go over there now? How many books are in the library?
We don't know.
Ballpark.
Well, we've cataloged over 1,000, and we don't really know how many more. It seems like we've cataloged not a lot of books.
So 10,000?
No.
5,000?
Way less than 10,000 books. But I don't know, because there's more books in the garage. There's like a whole quarter of that room that's just a pile of uncatalogued books.
Are the composted books counted as part of this total?
No.
Okay.
The Adbusters.
Some of those are probably my Adbusters, man.
Can't believe you're at Adbusters. Is there room for this one in there?
I think maybe
Maybe.
one of these.
Okay. Well, I'll just leave it by the side of it.
Actually,
I don't really know.
I'm gonna just with me and Spencer.
Probably with Olivia.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, sure.
Get out of here. Oh dear.
sorry, I'm in the way.
It's alright.
Goodbye, Diamond Chevrolet. Goodbye, Sunrise Cafe.
Are they closing?
No, we're just, the HX is leaving them.
Oh, okay. I was a bit worried.
Spencer, what is your connection with the HX been?
When I was a Clark student a couple years ago, a few of my friends had shifts there,
Uh-huh.
and so I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. And so the next semester, I volunteered to have a shift at the HX library. And then I realized that I was the only person who actually had a shift.
Uh-huh.
So I did a bunch of skill shares and things like that, most of which were made up by Shane.
Uh-huh.
And then since then, I've just sort of been a part of the collective.
Uh-huh.
And have recently gotten more involved in organizing because it's moving to Stone Soup requires a bit more organization.
What has it brought to your life?
A lot of good books.
Yeah?
I've read a good bit of Swamp Thing thanks to it.
That's a good comic book.
It's a pretty good comic, yeah. I don't know, that's, I guess, the library. I've read a lot of really good science fiction.
Mm-hmm. I would have to say I would not have read so much Octavia Butler if it were not for the HX.
Yeah, it's a real good place to get set up with that stuff, I gotta say. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what other good things it's brought me. Yeah, I don't know, mostly a lot of books, I guess. What's your name?
Charlie.
Charlie? Me, I'm Spencer.
We taking it in through the front? We taking it in through the front?
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Okay. Happiness Pony. Awesome. Here it is, man. Your first shelf going inside.
It's exciting. Actually, there's a couple shells in here already, but you don't
This is not how you make gripping television, dude. Here it is, the first shelf going inside.
It's really exciting.
Would you like to do the honors?
Oh,
Of
sure.
pretending this is the first shelf going inside. Fantastic.
It's a little bit funky.
Well, you know what? There's a
Yeah.
thing on the one side there.
Yeah.
I think maybe they originally was on a crooked floor.
Maybe.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's probably a good one.
So the plan is to put this to keep this stuff in the Epica space for a while, and then
All the chairs are gonna be put in the Epica space.
okay. And where's the HX gonna be?
HX is gonna be right here.
Oh, really? Like all these walls are gonna
All
be the
these
library?
walls in this room are gonna be HX. It's gonna be HX slash like performance space, sort of community gathering area.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So there's a lot of walls. Hopefully we'll be able to get at least a little bit taller.
This HX is such a funny project. Like, there's so many. I mean, there's so many experimental projects that people do that they fail in terrible ways. It's part of
Yeah.
doing experimental projects, and this is one which it seems like it keeps trying to fail. It keeps getting set on fire. It keeps getting shot by fire hoses or whatever after fires.
Yeah.
People keep giving up on it. People keep putting it in a box and hiding it in somebody's closet, and then it keeps coming out.
I think a lot of books are pretty resilient things. If you have a good collection of books, you just, it's going to grow and it's going to, eventually end up back in the space.
This is a good point. I don't care how good your collection of ruggedized hard drives would have been in 1996 or whatever.
Exactly.
They're not going to survive until.
Because no one's going to root for it and be like, oh man, I have to put this on a shelf somewhere.
Now I have to convert this format. Crap.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a really good point because it's like, the library has gotten some really incredible donations of books too, some really interesting collections, and it's, books just attract other books, which is pretty neat.
The resilience of books.
Yeah.
The resilience of the human spirit.
Exactly. It'd be nice if there's some books in here while I'm talking about this, but hopefully by the end of the day, it's pretty exciting.
All right. Well, thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Oh yeah, of course.
Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, everybody. This has been 508. This has been our Cinema Verite depiction of moving the HX to new space. Moving forward, rebirth.
Yeah.
Death and rebirth.
All those things are
All
going to
right.
be great.
Guys, enjoy Worcester. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.